From the fading light of life, rise like a phoenix, out of the ashes seeking rather than vengeance. Retribution you will want, once I'm transformed, once I'm reborn. You know I will rise like a phoenix, but you're my flame. Go about your business, act as if you were free. No one would have witnessed what you did to me, 'cause you wouldn't know me today. And you have got to see to believe. From the fading light of life, rise like a phoenix, out of the ashes seeking rather than vengeance. Retribution you will want, once I'm transformed, once I'm reborn. Now rise up to the sky. You put me down, but I'm gonna fly. Like a phoenix, out of the ashes seeking rather than vengeance. Retribution you will want, once I'm transformed, once I'm reborn. You know I will rise like a phoenix, but you're my flame.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to the Old Mutual Tomorrow's Leaders 2015 convention. Please welcome your host for the day, star of radio and TV, and host of Mags on Media, Mr. Jeremy Maggs.
Good morning, everybody. I can't help but think that if we were in stage 2 load shedding, that dance that we have just seen wouldn't have been quite perhaps as dramatic as it was. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to sound like the Discovery Channel to start off with, but in Greek mythology, a phoenix is a long-lived bird that is cyclically regenerated or reborn. It's associated, as you know, with the sun. A phoenix obtains new life by arising from the ashes of its predecessor. Let me read you an excerpt of a poem by the poet Rebecca Wiles. It's called The Phoenix. She writes, "For the sake of self, red bird of fire, come forth through your ashes a new bird, shedding the old self which is no longer needful. You embrace your new strength and fly to new heights of the sky, to the city of the sun. Embrace yourself, for you are a child of the sun. The spirit never dies." Today, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to embrace your strength. And as we gather here for a power 12 hours, I sincerely hope that you will also fly to new heights. So on behalf of Old Mutual and in association with Cape Media, a very warm welcome to the Tomorrow's Leaders Convention. I'm so absolutely delighted to have been asked back for a second year. I cannot help but think that I fit the profile perfectly. I look at all of you and I see old faces and friends that I made last year. You are young, you are youthful, you are energetic, you are dynamic, you're full of ambition, much like myself. Okay, I'll be facilitating the events today, ladies and gentlemen, and also chairing 3 big panel discussions. And we are going to start the session this morning with 6 important brief keynote addresses. Every single person in this room today is a leader in their own right, today, but also tomorrow as well. And in that respect, ladies and gentlemen, as we start this conference today, I wonder if we can all just take a moment to acknowledge a young South African leader who died tragically just on a week ago. Collins Chabani, rest in peace. Ladies and gentlemen, just 2 housekeeping notes. I know that because of the target demographic in this audience, every single one of you on Twitter today, the hashtag that you need is TLC2015. And if you're looking for free Wi-Fi, you need to go to the Emperor's Palace website and just follow the instructions there. So very briefly, before I introduce our first speaker to you this morning, what are the key attributes of leadership as we start this session? And I ask you to look deep into yourselves today and ask if you have these traits. For instance, do you have the trait, ladies and gentlemen, of flexibility? Leaders these days need to be flexible. They need to alter. They need to be able to throw out plans. And you need to do that without getting angry, stressed, or insulated. And I think insulated there is the key word. You need to embrace the power of networking. Every single leader that I have interviewed in a 32-year career in journalism has shared one trait. And again, I hope as you embark on your leadership journey that you share the trait of humility. Your top priority is to serve your customers, to serve your stakeholders, your staff, their needs, not your own needs. Focus is absolutely critical. You need to put energy and time into the activities. I've been chatting to a few of you before the session started today. To a person, I've asked people, how long do you work every day? The days of the 8-hour day are over. People are pushing 10, 14, 16-hour days. And all of that is because of good focus. We all need as leaders, or you need as leaders, I'm not a leader, I'm simply facilitating a conference on leadership. You all need decisiveness, everybody. The most successful leaders recognize that they don't have all the time these days to get all the facts. We move too fast. We live in this thing called the 2.4-second news cycle, thanks to things like Twitter and Vine and Instagram. So these days, we don't have time to do that. What you've got to do, though, and you all make dozens of decisions every day, you need to be able to be focused enough to gather the information to make sound decisions. The most overtraded word, I think, in leadership these days is vision, but it still remains, in my opinion, the most important trait of any good leader. It's the ultimate test. It's about instilling the dream. I think you need to have confidence, but I also think as leaders you need to be paranoid. I think that's important. A healthy balance of paranoia and confidence is critical. Leaders are vigilant, but realistic at the same time. I also think that you need to be positive these days. A positive mindset defines a great leader. If you don't buy into a bulletproof mindset of positivity, you're simply not going to make it. I'm not going to rehash the problems, the challenges, the difficulties that all of you face in your business these days. We know that. But part of being a great leader is having that mindset of positivity. I think self-awareness is important. The best leaders have an acute sense of self-awareness. They know their strengths, and all of us in this room know our strengths. But most importantly, we don't always acknowledge our weaknesses, and I think that's critical. And there's one more thing I want to say before I introduce Ralph Mopita to us, who's our first speaker this morning. Listening is absolutely critical, the ability to listen. Listening is completely underrated in most environments. One of the things that I will fail miserably today when I'm chairing the first of 3 panel discussions, I won't listen enough. And I always tell myself as a radio and a television broadcaster when I'm interviewing somebody, the most important thing to do is listen, because from listening comes the next step. I wonder how many of you are able to do that. So those are 9 key points, ladies and gentlemen, apart from the dance and the Phoenix, which I hope will set the tone for today's event. So once again, a very warm welcome to you. I hope that it is informative. I hope that it's engaging, and I hope that you leave later on today imbued with energy, because we're only at the start of 2015 and it's going to get a whole lot tougher going forward. Herein, ladies and gentlemen, lies the roadmap for 2015.